Gaming. Both of them essentially neck and neck as we go into our final Erangel match. Match number 16, coming through from Sosnovka military base up towards Stalber on the northeast side. Let's get stuck in.
Let's get it going. Predictions in chat, predictions in the arena. Who are we supporting? Get loud, support your favorite team. They need your energy over the next 3 potential matches. For Weibo, 5 points away from reaching that smash point threshold. Very close, but could also be infinitely far away, depending on how these drops go. Now, my prediction for this specific map, theoretically, for Yangon Galacticos, this is their best chance to win this tournament on a Smash Point rule set. The reason why I say that, Erangel, in my opinion, from what I've been observing, tends to be where they feel most at home. Then you flip the script, we go to our last 2 Miramars. I look at APG to then be the favorite. So if I'm Yangon Galacticos, I'm locking it in right here and now. Map number 4, I don't want to see Miramar because my chances of winning might have just gone down the drain. APG's on fire, but one of the things that's been hurting them is they only land military. They don't have a secondary drop, and because of that, they ran into issues a couple of maps ago. It took them a little bit longer to get to Smash Point, but yet here they are. Now, military is going to be quite active. We've talked about it. 3 teams on military, things start to get crowded. APG is now one of them.
They are going to get involved on military. They get to drop out early for the first time today over towards their drop spot, but the circle sends up towards the northwest side, so teams moving over towards Georgia Pole. That's normally Yangon Galacticos, going to have potentially a little bit of a better time, but on that north side, you've got those vehicle drops that could potentially get a little bit messy and get involved with other teams, but it seems like they're extricating themselves effectively for the time being. No one getting too close to one another. No knocks being seen just yet. Of course, we're looking at Weibo as well. Down in Primorsk, going to split up towards Quarry as well. Nobody really contesting on that spot. Again, early on that plane path, they should be looted nice and quickly. And that west side rotate, very available for them.
Very available indeed. And well, for Yangon Galacticos, they land a little bit short. Normally, they're up towards Georgia Pole, which would be phenomenal for them, being dead center. This time around, they will land a bit more to the eastern side of things. For E-Arena, already running into some issues. What a Sky getting the knife, and one is down. But Sky needs to get out of here, stay alive as long as possible.
Good news for Bora towards the bottom of these tables. E-Arena trying to defend. To be honest, no one's really paying attention to these teams down low. And it is 4 players to a vehicle for Yangon Galacticos, which we hate. But it does mean that they are going to have to grab a couple more vehicles on the road. And the buggy we first picked up by Smile. Besides a monster truck there as well, but they don't want to go for that. They're just going to draw up into those buildings.
This is a great opportunity for Yangon Galacticos to play for in-game. Not get too antsy. Let's not try to overexpose ourselves and go for eliminations. Let's tone back the aggressiveness. Again, I feel like they got way too aggressive in that last game. Would they still have won? I don't know. It would have been tough, but they were getting blessed by zones. Here, they have the best chance. This is quite literally the most perfect opportunity as it currently stands for Yangon Galacticos to hold it down, center zone, play for late game, and just stay quiet. That's my game plan if I'm them. Now, you do have teams moving in. Team Secret's going to be on the other side of the river towards Georgia Pole, and then, of course, E-Arena starts to come in as well. Maybe tempting fate to go into where Yangon Galacticos is currently at. They might go where Team Secret is. But we also shift our attention to APG. Once again, center of military, and they've got to make a decision. Eastern Bridge, Western Bridge. Where do they decide to go? Well, they've got 4 Thrives or Ida potentially to deal with them.
Could be problematic as time goes on. Team Secret have a position now against Joker, who's actually taking the fight fairly effectively here. Went down very, very low fast, but Frankie wasn't quite able to connect those final rounds. And now Frankie is in danger with Tony K and Sakura on the bottom floor. They will need to call for reinforcement, and in they come. Team Secret rallying around their high ground player. Sakura on the windowsills, looking for the shots, pre-fires the angle, and actually catches Zerus on the crossing. Beautifully found, and now Tony K has a turn up the staircase.
He's going to go ahead and camp up here, Frankie. Holding it down, nades cooking. Don't think it's going to have any impact. I'd like him to pull it back if I was him. Sakura, though, very limited health. Ooh. And finally taken down. Team Secret taking this fight in stride, and an opportunity to get their down player is here, and they will be successful. As Tony K will fall. E-Arena starts to run on fumes. Joker last alive. And And I just don't know if he's going to have what it takes to take down the 4-man unit of Team Secret.
This is an important fight to have concluded early. With the circle as it sits, teams are going to start to move towards the northern shore. E-Arena not being there opens the door for teams like Yangon Galacticos, like Power at the moment, to potentially try and sweep on through. It also leaves a little bit of an opening for Weibo on the west flank to maybe move over that long Georgia Pole Bridge.
Notice Ida starts to move across the western bridge. APG to follow suit. Thundertalk most likely going to go across eastern. They won't have anybody there. APG's going to have to fight really hard to continue their way to center zone. That's why Yangon Galacticos is in such a great spot. Although Smile, I do feel he's a bit spread out from his roster, and that gives me a little bit of concern. I understand you want to lock down these bridges, and that's great for eliminations, that's great for points, but stay with your boys. Stay together. There's no reason to get too antsy here.
Taking a shot on the stairs. I mean, that kind of feels antsy to me.
I would say so.
A little bit of a pop there. Maybe a signal of things to come. They weren't able to close down, getting a little bit too over-aggressive. They've taken some damage, but they're establishing control on both sides of the river now for Yangon Galacticos. So a lot of overlooked positions, and that's the danger that you play into crates, right? It's so open around the edge. Getting out of there, if you overcommit early, is really, really difficult once teams start to move in. We're on board with APG though now, and they are being careful on their bridge crossing, but they needn't be. Oh, maybe, okay, no, he's fine. He's around the edge of that blockade. They're zigzagging, they're going left, they're going right, and they are fighting ghosts right now.
Correct me if I'm wrong. We had, I know you would, we have a situation with Yangon Galacticos who were in this very spot when they won a game on Erangel. What, a couple days back, right? It was Team Secret who ended up crashing in on a roster on the ridgeline, or maybe was it Yangon Galacticos who? Yes, and then remember, then they crashed in, and they ended up taking a victory, and it was very, very close to where they currently are. So
it was APG,
and so they've won a game in this very spot, basically, or at least close to it. So familiar territory. They've already got a W here. Maybe they can replicate it.
Oh, well, they'll definitely be trying to, that's for certain. They would love to take home that chicken dinner and that title. The $500,000 in prize money. It's weighing heavily on the mind. And Weibo trying to weigh up to them. 5 points short of the match point boundary right now. They do need to earn 5 more. You can see they're posted up right now close to the west bridge on Georgia Pole. A long rotate across that bridge. It can get pretty dangerous, but at the moment there's only one team on the northern shore. That is Team Secret. That will change pretty quickly though. We've got teams starting to move in from the north. You've got Alter Ego, you've got Aura. Yangon Galacticos unlikely to go to North George, but potential for this area to get a little bit more packed.
For Alter Egos, maybe even fourth rise, but focused on Alter Egos, who I feel have been doing decently well today. They can have a good game here. There is a big chance potentially they can start to do what Weibo's been doing, right? Rallying back, breaking in to smash point. This game is critical to get close to that narrative, and then the next Miramar, maybe they surpass it, game 6, they can steal the whole tournament away, which would be insane, right, from Alter Egos and how well they've been playing. You look at Krypton yesterday, his clutch against Regnum Caria was incredible. So that would cap off a wonderful storyline we've been developing for this Alter Ego roster. Now, let's see where this next zone ends up going. And it's going to go straight towards Alter Ego up top. And Yangon Galacticos, who do make the audible, they follow Smile up ahead. Seems to have paid off because they're now well within the next zone.
That is a crazy hard shift up towards the north side. Yangon Galacticos immediately go to the northern shore. Power under pressure. Weibo on the western side, moving over that west Georgia Pole Bridge. APG, I wouldn't be too surprised to see them following Thundertalk all the way out to the east, play that Roshok Bridge, insert over to the east-hand side of this next circle, but it's all on what Yangon Galacticos can do with the control that they've got over this river crossing.
Pushing Falcons back, Narvalo saying, okay, let me go ahead and scout out and see if that house is available. Well, it's simply not. He doubles back in, takes a couple more shots, and Renat says, look, you gotta stay away, brother. I'm not playing around with you. Falcons getting testing the waters just a little bit, but Yangon Galacticos hold it down. Regnum Caria also in the area, and we're still moving. Yangon Galacticos going forward, potentially challenging that of Falcons.
Oh, Mernat looking to try and clock Koa as he spins out the buggy or tries to connect on the tire. Maybe Ralph in danger, but he's pushed back. Yangon Galacticos have allowed about 4 teams through their position now for no benefit. They've got such a blockade that now sits to their north that was all southwards of them before. They retreat and they fold back.
This is interesting, and now APG getting relatively close over at Rozhok. There is a chance maybe they clash depending on the route APG decides to take. I assume they're going to go more east and then go up north towards where ThunderTalk is currently at. But I agree with you. Yangon Galacticus letting Falcons get through along with a multitude of other rosters now puts them in a tough spot because you guarantee, well, I can't guarantee, but I at least think they're going to have to go north.
This is the thing, right? They didn't do either of the things that position was good for. One, hold teams out towards the south. Take aggressive fights, force a blockade, force a traffic jam on that south side, and choke those rotations out. Two, head north before everyone else. You already have that advantage in terms of the pacing, and they've done neither. They took a little peek here and there, and they played it timid. They folded back into their compound, and now they're on the edge of the circle. They can still do something from here, right? There is still that opportunity, but I feel like they may have made a mistake in this situation. We'll have to wait and see if it's going to pan out that way. I also spotted Weibo tilting teams towards the top, right? They rotated up that West Georgia Pole Bridge. They've gone now wrapped around up towards the shooting range hill on the north side. They have a nice spread on the west side of this circle.
Yes.
I like what Weibo has done on this match, a lot more certainly than Yangon Galacticos.
Yeah, Weibo, Alter Egos, I think are in prime positions to have a deep run in this game, and two rosters, you know, Weibo obviously 5 points away. I mean, they could get that with placement points depending on how they play this. For Alter Egos, a good game here puts them closer and closer to the smash points, loving where they're currently at. They can just hold their ground. They look strong. APG finally starts to get up towards the top. They rotated up through Rozhok. We have another shift, which surprisingly still has Yangon Galacticus in it on the southern portion, and they are relatively uncontested, so another deep run potential. But for that narrative against Alter Egos, they now have to go down south towards shooting range for Weibo, still relatively strong opposite of Team Secret.
It's a non-zero possibility that Alpha Gaming crash into Yangon Galacticos' position here, and we get a fight for the smash point early in this game. We're still waiting for teams to start to drop here. We have already lost one, but there's still 14 more to go. As of course, we do have to have a chicken dinner winner at the end of it all. Fireflux, they've been busted down to 3 right now. They're playing on the northeast side. Gonna stop a little bit short. Can't stay in this compound, and they will have to get on the road. Alpha Gaming, same story for them. A little bit more south though.
So 4 Thrives will pass just north of them. Ballot catches one off guard. Fireflux Solish, yeah, just pumping gas over there, unfortunately, instead of moving forward. And that will take, of course, they will take advantage of that situation. 4 Thrives, a team that played so well throughout the group stages, now find themselves knocking on the door, potentially reaching Smash Point. Another roster that needs a solid game here in map number 4. It's a possibility. And that's what makes this grand finals great. We've got 2 teams who are already on Smash Point, but we've got teams who are definitely looking to make their way. We get to game 6, I'm expecting maybe 4 or 5.
I mean, it could go that way. It depends what teams like Alter Ego, what 4 Thrives are able to do here. It feels like those are the 2 teams who are, well, they are most likely to join, right? Especially with 4 Thrives already getting 3 points. They're up to 95 now. It's still quite a way to go. I think it's safe to say it is still very much a way to go. Unless you're just going to do back-to-back chicken dinners a la Weibo, it's going to be very, very difficult to make that one work. With where 4 Thrives are right now out in the east, it's going to be pretty tricky for them to enact that.
So before Yangon Galacticus had Smile go as a solo across the bridge, this time around 3 go up. Team Secret gets close, but they leave Renat down low on the shoreline, potentially closing that in if they do need to rotate back depending on where this zone ends up shifting. But I get so nervous when I see those solos out in the open like that. I really hope Renat does not get caught off guard with a third party.
At the moment though, we're on board with Alpha Gaming. They are circling around the south side of Falcons, who are crunched in the middle of a bit of a standoff here, that is sort of concluding towards their north, and I imagine the Falcons going to want to get stuck in. Alpha Gaming, they're rolling around these hills, they're not peeking, they're getting information, they can hold out here for a little bit longer. Yangon Galacticos in the meantime have got a player from Team Secret now playing to the ridge to the west of their north point. See if they can do a little bit more from there. 4 Thrives still fighting on out, but they've lost IQ. Noki is down and exposed from the rest of these rosters. Alter Ego as well on the north side. Got to make this rotate very, very tricky.
Got Fireflux in this area. Alter Egos. Noxium Red Force also moving in. If I'm T24, I'm trying to get Noki back up, take the hovercraft, and potentially disengage if he can, but they've got to go through multiple rosters, so it might not be a possibility. Phallic, the smoke's going to help a little bit. He'll get behind the car, and is Noki getting picked up? Well, is this nade going to connect? connect. It gets close, and it will knock Naki once again. And that's going to leave one 4 Thrives member to still try and fight for his life. Actually, none, as they're fully eliminated. That narrative we said they needed a good game for, going to have to wait until the next game potentially. But we still have Yangon Galacticus, APG, 4-man units, and they are deep into this game so far.
It's going to take at least 2 matches for 4 Thrives to get up into the smash point boundary, which means match 6, their only hope to maybe sneak in and get a chicken dinner there. But again, it's on back-to-back chicken dinners at this point. Eyes on the top 3 right now. Rosters on the table. The circle went up northwest. That's going to help Weibo potentially. Yangon as well, bolstering their position on the northwest side. So we'll see if they're able to find it. With Alter Ego stuck in this scrap on the northeast side, I don't think they're getting out of this one unscathed, especially with Alva already down. Fireflux are right next to them. Falcons are to the south of that. Thundertalk and APG beyond them on the horizon there. I don't think Alter Ego are going to be able to push through this one in a healthy way to take that chicken dinner on this match that they would so desperately need to get up to that boundary.
Well, one thing we know about Alter Egos is they know how to fight. They know how to get scrappy, and that was represented in Game 6 on Miramar just yesterday. With all 4 still up, well, maybe 1 down at least currently. I think Alter Egos might have a chance, but you're right. It's not going to be easy, and with Koam knocking down Rosemary, John, I'm starting to believe in what you're saying. This fight on the eastern side has been taking place for quite some time now, and it's still going to be probably another minute or 2 minutes before it's concluded.
Falcons picking up a few points there, picking up their teammate too, as they take the fight and they draw it away. Fireflux will fall in their face, but Yangon Galacticos versus APG. This is the fight for the top side of the tables. Hang on a minute, on the ridgeline, Yangon Galacticos have position, but Alpha Gaming rock on up. They swing from the east side and they're pushing in. First player to go down is Myrna from Yangon Galacticos. Nades over in, and there's no equalizer.
Smile starts to back away, reposition. Top's going to try and get his teammate back up into the play. Smile, though, he's not going to relinquish that pressure. He's going to continue to push up. Doc does have a great angle if Smile overexposes himself. This is a critical fight. You have 2 Smash Point teams facing off against each other, and arguably, you could say whoever wins this, and especially if they win it in dominating fashion, most likely could, in fact, win this game and win the tournament.
Doc gets clocked from the sidelines there, and it's Regnum Kaya to try and take him down. The SLR finds the angle. Doc potentially resible behind this tree. Regnum Kaya will come under fire from teams like Hora, from teams like Team Secret as well. And Ziol has an answer. Over towards Wild, he'll get that knock, and Regnum Kaya's sightlines will start to get diminished here. Playing that forward position towards that north side hold, it's going to work out well. And Regnum Kaya now playing only as 2. They only have 1 active sightline that allows the res to come through for APG, and Yangon Galacticos, they're not going to continue to lock horns with them.
No, not at all, and they also have a hardcover POI, which is wonderful for them. So when APG, if they do decide to push forward, APG is going to be in a tough spot. So the question is, will the third party from Regnum Kaya truly put APG into the dirt? Well, for Silas, he's worried about Noxum Red Force. You also have Weibo, who's going to be up ahead. We've lost Ragnar from Power, Ida fighting off against him from a distance. You also got DRX joining in as well. Fights galore taking place, and well, for every player that gets taken down, for every team that's eliminated, that puts other rosters closer to Smash Point or closer to a victory.
Power eating lead right now as Ida taking them to task, but they have had their fair share of punishment here, with Eren going down as just Emre left standing, trying to flex those big muscles that we've seen on him. The size of that lad, indomitable, but right now cowering behind this ridgeline with a blue zone at his back.
DRX, Haji from Power. DRX holding it down, not wanting to overcommit in this moment. By the way, the Alter Egos Horde fight still underway. That eastern side has yet to slow down. Nice shot from You'd been up ahead. That's on Smile. That is a critical down, and for YG, they have to make a big decision. Leave their hard cover and go get the pickup. They're going to commit for it.
The difficulty here is that Yangon Galacticos have to leave their hard cover. Alhaji giving a good attempt at holding against DRX, but you've got to imagine his number is up. Will go down as they cut through him. DRX managed that one cleanly. Ida going down as well, leaves 9 teams remaining. Placement points coming in soon, which remember is important for Weibo. They need 5 points this match to find that one. Smile did get res for Yangon Galacticos, but they still have to move north, and APG have 4 players alive. Moving north is so tricky against where Regnum Kaya are playing, and it might get even harder with DRX trying to backfill.
Here they go, and YG was firing a couple of shots. Sides is going to go up top and try and challenge the YG boys. This is going to get tense. Smile back on his feet. Nade cooking. It's thrown. Hyunbin manages to dodge. Another one thrown on Soez, but he dodges it as well. DRX continues to progress. Smile, he is dropped off for the second time in just a short amount of time.
APG grinning ear to ear right now. The main threat from the south side taken down, but DRX may just sidle in to take their place, usurp that position on the south edge and play as 4 rather than the 3 that Yangon Galacticos were playing around with before. Hyunbin nade over the top play cloud, sidesteps another, a Smile finally bleeds out. He's staying alive on a sliver of HP, and Scissors cut along from the sidelines. Romeo steps into the fight. The nade finally takes him down, but Romeo now pressured out by the blue zone.
Romeo, like you said, he's got to move, he's got to go, and he's pretty much the last hope and chance for the opportunity of Yangon Galacticos to close this out in Smash Point, but Reefus from APG guns him down, and APG now staying alive. A 4-man unit have a real chance to close the tournament out.
4 players alive, but look at the open field that sits before them. There are so many angles up the top of the hill that can take shots out this way. It's a question of keeping your head down, finding those later game rotates. We're in stage 5 right now, which means there's a lot of variability. And again, Regnum Kaya get the knock over to Doc on the tree line. It's resable, but do they have the smokes? Do they have the time to go for it? Because DRX are right behind them.
That's right, they're about to get pincered. DRX from the flank, Regnum Kaya up ahead, potentially Thunder Talk with the line of sight from the east. APG's job is not going to be easy, but let's face it, it's not easy to be a PMWC champion. So Alpha Gaming has to fight through. Weibo on the top. They're fighting, it's getting scrappy, but they're losing forces quickly. The question is, were they even able to get 5 points? I don't think so.
I don't know if they've managed to break that boundary. They are just short of it. Goodness me, they have fallen short of the mark, and again, it's going to be into the next match, unless APG win it, with 2 teams potentially in that Smash zone. As we refocus, Doc gets res. He's now playing all the way on the west side, and the teams up the top of the hill gonna have to move.
Team Secret, Hora, they've got to go in. For Tien, he's gone. Thunder Talk's forces are now down to 2. That alleviates a little bit of pressure off of APG, but maybe even focuses more from Regnum Kaya up ahead, because now they don't have to worry as much about Thunder Talk. Doc, watch your back! Silas is taking you down!
It felt like he was slow on the trigger there for Silas. He spotted a player from Team Secret as well. What are you doing stood up there, my man? A broadside found, and Doc again has to get rezzed for APG. They have to commit forwards, but they are so open to these sidelines. And DRX could rule them out of this match. Reapus is low. The 2 players from APG committed onto the res onto Doc. DRX, it's go time.
This is the time for Regnum Kaya to up the pressure, to up the ante onto APG. This is a beautiful opportunity to take them out and continue this tournament. When DRX starts to push up, you have a real opportunity. A nice shot. Hyunbin will drop 1. That's going to be Reefus. Fully finished off, but Doc fights back. Doc gets a knock onto 1.
He needs to give something back to his team here. He's been picked up plenty. Now he needs to pick up the slack where his backline is starting to fall. They're playing as 3, and DRX have 3 players bearing down upon them, and he's down again. It's now all up to 2 players for APG to maybe take this one home. They'll get points, but I don't think they're getting the chicken dinner here. With top falling, it's only Zeol left.
Zeol, the last hope and chance. Will the tournament end now? Will the solo make a heroic run? Well, he's surrounded. DRX, Team Secret now starting to crash in where DRX was just fighting against APG. Regnum Kaya now forced to watch their back against Hora. Sleepy falls. Regnum Kaya controlling center zone. The last one from Hora, last alive, is going to be No Fear. Down to a solo. Regnum Kaya starts to push onto him. Thunder Talk with 2. Zeus moving in. Jaiki up ahead. Wild taking a lot of damage. Meanwhile, Ziol still stands.
Only just, though. It seems like he is not long for this one. As soon as Team Secret start to extend control, or DRX on the flip side, he's gonna go down here. Regnum Kaya can't quite peek onto him right now because of Team Secret, who are still moving, still trying to settle into their next position. Silas wants the angles, he wants these shots, but he can't quite find them just yet. Wild is down, and the last player from Hora is right behind them. No Fear, nade over the top. That's Zeol going out, and APG laps on the south side, meaning we're going into Miramar.
Yes, we are, which is good news for APG, a great Miramar team. More on that in just a bit. For other rosters like DRX, Regnum Karya, a chance to elevate themselves up the standing, a chance to potentially make Smash Point, I would say, by game number 6. Their job not done just yet. I mentioned Horta earlier with No Fear, last alive. They've been fighting off against Regnum Karya, who now start to push up. And the question is now for Team Secret, can they take DRX out? The answer is undeniably yes, as only one more player remains, and now none. We're down to our top 3.
Team Secret losing their forward position with Regnum Karya trying to hold this high ground. They have a lot of pressure onto the south side. They've had it for a long, long time. They've been taking shots at that hillside for the last 7 minutes, and they have been finding points, but, well, actually they've been finding knocks, but not that many points to convert. They've been snuck away from the other teams playing on that hillside. But now, 3 players alive for Regnum Karya. They need to move south and potentially down the hill. Thundertalk with 2 playing on the east side of this circle. They've got a couple of sporadic pieces of cover that sit before them. I think the hardest time here is Team Secret with 2. They have to make a mad dash.
The thing about Team Secret, they've had some deep runs today as it stands, but they have yet to be able to finally get over the hump, finally close out a game. Is this their opportunity? Well, I love the line of sight from sitting up from a distance. Thundertalk most likely going to mow down Xerath, but you do have Regnum Karya starting to get active, starting to move just a little bit, and they're pushing where Thundertalk is currently at, and they have the high ground.
They've moved into this one. They know that Team Secret unlikely to push super far into this and backfill them on the high ground. Thundertalk would cut across them, which means that they do have the freedom to move laterally on this. Unfortunately, Team Secret up on these rocks do have an angle or 2 onto this high ground, so they may have just pushed themselves into a little bit of a corner here. However, they don't have to take this fight. They can allow Team Secret to take care of Thundertalk and try and put pressure on the north side.
Wanting to make the first move. A lot of utility's been thrown, mind you, especially from Thundertalk's perspective. I don't know how many they still have in the backpack, but you're gonna have to face up. Sitting, overexposed a little bit. Xerath takes the shot, sitting back behind the tree, goes for the transition, he's down.
Gets sat behind the tree there. The spray down on the cross is good, and that should be a flush nice and quickly. Team Secret under pressure, and Silas able to rain down the hill, and maybe they can start to rack up a few elim points for this power position that they've been playing for the longest time.
You got Team Secret, Thundertalk now running on fumes. Jing so weak, Wild just needs to hit 1 bullet. Well, now a little couple more, but either way, you got to favor Regnum Karya. Loxy starts to push up. Frankie is going to drop Xerath as well. Now it's just up to 1 member from Thundertalk. It's seeing from a distance. Only a tree to hide behind, and it's not enough. Regnum Karya control the pacing of the game, eliminate some heavy hitters, and they put themselves closer to Smash Point.
Weibo falls short of the mark of the Smash boundary in that match. I think that's one of the biggest storylines here, other than, of course, no finish of the tournament.
That's right.
But Weibo not making that 128 is huge. They needed 5 points. They got 2, maybe 3, I think, with the placements that they were able to earn. That is not going to be enough. So they can only get a Smash victory in match number 6.
That's right.
Moving into match number 5, only 2 teams can win it before we would end our tournament anyway. However, it could upset the point standings. If a team is able to sneak in match number 5 into that boundary, things can get messy over towards the top.